Welcome,
Stop
everybody.
sharing.
Welcome, welcome,
That's
welcome. Welcome to Buy Back the Block LA. This is our first meeting of 2021. Want to welcome you guys all. Want to thank you for coming, attending. We know the news of today is very turbulent, and want to thank you for staying laser focused on creating wealth and staying focused for your family, gaining knowledge and wealth and information for your family, despite what's going on in the news today. We are aware that what's happening right now is unprecedented, but we are here at Buy Back the Block, are very excited and very focused on remaining focused on the larger goal at hand. Is your personal economy and building wealth for you and your family. We had an earlier question today about what is Buy Back the Block. And for those of you who are the first time attendees here, Buy Back the Block group is the brainchild of Danny Carter, right? He thought about this group and created this group with right after the passing of Nipsey Hussle, to continue the legacy of ownership in our neighborhood, right? You know, if you're from LA and all around the country, got people from all around the country, but specifically from LA, that ownership is key. We have a lot of gentrification here in LA, and we wanted to, Danny wanted to start this group about teaching and continue to educating our people about ownership and moving forward. And so that's what Buy Back the Block is. We've also, from the education piece to now to the group economic piece, we started a group economics where we're purchasing property in Indiana as a group of us, and then, you know, multiplying that into a bigger goal of ours. We'll have another opportunity. I know there's gonna be a lot of questions about that and the opportunity to get in on that, but we'll have another opportunity to create another one of those groups later on this year. So that's what, in a nutshell, what Buy Back the Block LA is. Tonight, we're talking about generational wealth. And it is an excellent way to kick off this new year because it was a horrible year, 2020, right? We want to leave that in the past and we want to move forward. Again, and remain focused on the number one goal is providing wealth and information for you and your downline, your family, for when you're no longer here. You know, you don't want to be worried about, you know, what's going to happen. And today we have the honor and the privilege of talking to a Black CEO of a bank, Money Ave Bank, Donahue Baker. I want to write everybody in the chat right now. Welcome Donahue Baker in the chat. Say welcome in chat, because this is the one time you have to talk to and be able to have questions to talk to a CEO of a bank. I know I've never had the opportunity, and I am so excited to talk to this brother. So again, Donahue, how you doing? Welcome to Buy Back the Block LA.
Thanks for having me, fellas. I really appreciate it. It's an honor to be here. We circle this date to see what, really to come here and meet y'all, to see the wonderful things that you're doing at LA. And I know, you know, today has been so crazy. I know what's going on in DC, what happened in Atlanta. The fact that we all here shows commitment. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys.
Good, bro, good. And so I mentioned that you're a CEO of a bank, and I know you're doing a lot of things, but the question I have about to you is, a bank CEO, what made you start a bank? What made you have the audacity of hope to this dream to start a bank?
Well, for me personally, the bank was at the center of building wealth, the center of every transaction that I've ever done. It always was a bank. And I started as a CPA. It's been really an extension of wealth building. Now, as a CPA, I help people to save on taxes. I help people to come up with tax strategies. And I also worked with the family office, which allowed me to really get a behind the purview insight into what it takes to build wealth. And that's basically what led me to a bank. And my goal was that if I could start a bank, I could help create generational wealth for other people, being at the center of real estate transactions, as well as just simple entrepreneurship.
Great. Let's take a couple steps back. So you're now a bank CEO. So let's take a step back just for a little bit on where did you grow up? What's your upbringing? Where did you grow up?
Grew up in New Jersey, parent of a single mom. And then from there, you know, grew up in affordable housing. And then from there, really close to New York, right? So I lived in the part of New Jersey that overlooked New York City every single day. So that was really where I was raised. And then from there, you know, I went on to college. I went to school in DC. And then I lived on the West Coast. Well, it's not really the West Coast, but Denver, Colorado, which was, you know, still out west. But and then I also lived a little bit in Atlanta, moving around business-wise, doing some things here and there. But right now, back in New Jersey, and that's really my market. Then over the years, I've really become an expert in 3 markets: Atlanta, New Jersey, and Florida. Those are really my specifics of where I've been. And I see a question from William. Said, what college in DC?
Yeah,
I went to
I was
Georgetown.
getting there. College, yeah. You were the Georgetown.
Yeah, I'm a Hoya.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
John Thompson.
Yeah, when I think, right, John Thompson, and then when I think about LA, I always think about Boys in the Hood. You know, when Omar Epps had the not Omar Epps, Cuba Gooding Jr. had the Hoya shirt on, representing when he was going to Georgetown. That was my movie.
Right. So did you know
Yeah.
any of the famous people, any of the famous like basketball stars there that were there? Were you
Yeah,
there in those
absolutely. I went to school with Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo, a couple other people that made it into the league that came through Georgetown. Most people think of Georgetown as, because of the basketball team, as an all-black school. It's really an all-white school, but it's a great institution. A lot of the black students that went there, we all stick together. So even to this day, some of my best friends I keep in touch with in their Hoyas.
Wow, that's great. So what, you know, you mentioned after college, you mentioned a couple of things that you had a family office, CPA firm. So which one did you start first right after college, or start working at first after college?
So right after that, I got a job as a CPA. So I worked with another firm, and that's really where I learned the craft. I did that for a few years, but one of the clients when I worked for that firm was a family office. And you guys know what a family office
No,
is?
I was gonna say, explain that, because I kind of know, but I
Right.
want you to explain that.
Absolutely. So a family office is really wealth management, and they manage major wealth, like $100 million or more. So if you're worth like $50 million, you're not even on family office radar. So the particular family office that I worked at, basically they have like 20 people that manages the wealth of a wealthy individual, but each of those 20 people control a different vertical. So they'll have like one person that just does insurance, and that person will find the best insurance policies and basically scour the earth for the best insurance policies. And they do that every single day. Then they have another person that may be just, that family may have a foundation that runs that foundation. That's what they do every single day. Another person would just do taxes, coming up with tax strategies, and they make sure that, you know, that their wealth is implemented every single day. But one of the most interesting things that the family offices have, which really opened my eyes, is that the family office that I worked at had lobbyists. And you may say, well, why do they need a lobbyist? Well, the lobbyists would basically have an office in DC, and they would basically be instrumental in writing laws to preserve wealth. And this is they would directly affect legislation that was going through Congress, particularly the tax bill every single year. So just looking at that operation and understanding how much time and energy and effort went into building wealth, I wanted to be one of the people that can take the same systems and bring it back to my community. And that's what I learned during that time.
Good. So if I'm understanding, at the family office, you were the tax person then?
Yes.
You were the
Absolutely.
CPA tax person. Great,
Absolutely.
right. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. So then you went from, after family office, did you start your own CPA firm, or
yeah, absolutely. So one of the things I learned at the family office was understanding wealth and understanding your value. So what I wanted to do was reach my utmost potential. So I was making high 6 figures at that particular time. And I figured that the wealth of knowledge that I had, I can extrapolate that by starting my own firm. And that's exactly what I went out to do. So I built this practice, had about 200 people in that practice, and that led me to basically be an entrepreneur. And that was really well, I wouldn't say my first endeavor into entrepreneurship, but it was the one that really allowed me to help a lot of people at scale, where I just didn't do just taxes, I did tax strategy. And I developed this system that allowed people to build wealth. And I always incorporated real estate as a key component into the wealth building process. And I think that's one of the key takeaways that I want people to understand, that there's really only two ways to build generational wealth. And that's either through real estate or through setting up a business that has a system that you can pass on. So that's really one of the key takeaways that I've always implemented those principles into my practice. And I want others to realize that as well.
Wow. Okay. So in your actual question, in the family office, all of the clients in the family office, every one of them had a lot of real estate and a lot of businesses. Is that why you say that this is the one of really two ways you can have generational wealth?
Absolutely. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about having a business that has systems that can be passed on. You know, if you have a business that can do that, then you're creating generational wealth. If you're like a superstar attorney or even an accountant, and you have a practice and it's just you and you have to do all the work, that's not creating the system. That's not something, you can't pass on a job, right? So the idea is to create a system that you can pass on. For me, I always looked at income producing real estate, which eliminated wholesaling and flipping, because the second you stop doing that, your income stops. So I always wanted to try to tell people, if you're looking to build wealth, looking to purchase real estate, buy income producing real estate. That is the way to go.
Wow. Okay. Because we have a lot of other not a lot, some competing theories about what you covered, however, which is stocks and stuff like that. But I guess if you stop trading stocks, or you can have stocks still that pay you maybe dividends.
Yeah, no, stocks. Yeah, so let me give you my take on stocks. Now, I know a lot of people. Like I said, I worked at the family office. I worked, also had a CPA practice. I know a lot of people that made money on stocks, but when I'm talking about generational wealth, I know no one that just from stock investing has made generational wealth, right? Made enough money where they've basically invested in a stock over a long period of time, made enough money, and been able to pass that on, and then the heir do the same thing. Like it doesn't work like that. Business side of it, if the way that I have seen people make money is they've invested in a business even before it went to the IPO level. I know a number of people that have basically invested in a business before it got to the IPO level and made millions of dollars when it became an IPO. So when it officially went public to where it was available to the open public, they cashed out. That's when they got their money, and then they took that money and then they went to the family office to preserve the wealth, right? But when you're trying to come up, when you're trying to be a millionaire and you're not yet, stocks is a hard way to get there, right. And that's through my experience. I just haven't seen it. So that's mine. Nothing wrong with stocks when you want to diversify, which I have another opinion about diversification. But I think that if you're looking to be a millionaire, we all should look to be a millionaire, and then at that point create generational wealth. I think real estate is one of the best ways to go. And then the only thing better than real estate is starting a business that you can scale rapidly.
Great. Okay, so then after a CPA firm, did you start buying real estate yourself, or what's your real estate? I know already, but what's your real estate holdings today?
My goal was just to purchase real estate and use it to live the rent-free lifestyle, just really at level one, right? And then from every single year after that, just purchase one income producing property. Just to set a goal, I said every year I wanted to double the number of units. So if I purchased my very first purchase was a duplex. I lived in one side, rented out the other. The next year I purchased a fourplex. And then every single year I tried to double the number of units to where I built this enormous portfolio. And right now I own over 500 units. That's where I am today. But it was because over the years, I took that approach. Now, some years I didn't make it, but other years I more than compensated when I started to do apartment buildings. And then that allowed me to kind of scale on a different level.
500 units. That is something to inspire to. So now, do you have a property manager, or do you manage yourself, or what's that makeup look like?
Yes, I have a property manager that manages everything, so I don't have to really, do anything other than manage the managers. So that's why it's important that along the way, like the first few properties, I was personally the property manager, and I learned what needed to be done, what that job was like. So because I know what to do, I'm able to identify and hire the best possible property managers. And at least I try to, even though over the years I've hired some bad ones, but I can find out pretty quickly if they're doing the right things or not. So that's that's definitely another issue, but property management is something that I've had to do. And it's also a way in which you can get the most out of your property in terms of hiring a really, really good property manager creates value for you because they do a lot of things proactively instead of reactively.
Right, right. So now in your real estate responsibilities, what do you do now? Since you have a property manager, what do you do now in real estate? Is it just more
So
acquisition
right now,
deals?
right now I spend a lot of time. I still try to do one deal a year. So I'm doing more. Once I realized that I have a focus of looking at apartment buildings. So I look at a lot of apartment buildings all over the country. But what I realized is, if you want to keep doubling, there's only but so many big apartment, like 100-unit apartment buildings in the city. So you might have maybe 5 or 6 that's on the market at one time. And once you basically analyze those, you don't like the price or something is not right, you kind of move on to another market. For me personally, the way that I had to kind of get around that was that I started to do real estate development. And that's when I became a real estate developer, when I just started looking not only for properties that I can rehab, but I started to look for properties that I could build from ground up, really looking for land and then going to municipalities and finding out what is lacking, what does the municipalities need, and really partnering with the municipalities and allowing them to really give us a head start in funding and then build from ground up.
Right. Okay. Okay. So then, without the developing portion of real estate, how did you find the units that you have now? Like, I know from the land purchase, but for the other units, did you find them through the MLS? Did you have a specific way or a different way to find your units?
A lot of times, believe it or not, I'm getting a lot of deals from wholesalers. So I get deals from wholesalers. I analyze a lot of deals. I have a network of people that also reach out to me, like brokers. One of the things is that the 3 markets that I'm most prevalent in, I have a really good relationship with brokers. So when something's available, they're the ones that call me when it first comes on the market, before it even hits any type of public listing service, right? So I get an opportunity to get like pocket listings, and from those pocket listings, I can analyze them and make an offer that is competitive, and that's usually a good source. Wholesalers, brokers, occasionally, and I haven't done it through COVID, but occasionally I have another method too, where I basically just direct mail. And I haven't really direct mail in about a year, but if there's a market and I see that there's some opportunity, I'll try to reach the owner directly. I'll try to skip trace and just contact the owner, send them letters, and basically see if they want to sell, especially if I know that their property is dilapidated or there's some defect or some issue that is making the property unprofitable. So I try to be proactive in that sense.
Wow. Okay. So those properties that you see that have a defect, what is the strategy there? What you try to come in and what do you do with that? What's your message to them?
Yeah, so that's one of the key sources of wealth creation, right? If you're looking to do apartment acquisitions, what you're looking for are those defects, because those defects, if you can go in and get the property at the right price, The wealth creation is being able to get that property well below market value, go in, fix the defect, and then have enough upside to kind of take advantage. So I'll tell you what one deal that I did right before COVID. It's a 107 unit apartment complex that I found in New Jersey. That building we purchased for $5.6 million. It was 107 units, but it had a significant defect, right? One of the defects that existed on the property was the fact that there was old management, right? The management was poor, and they had high vacancies. We knew that we can come in and run it with a better management process, just really installing simple stuff like computers, right? Automating a lot of the payments, the rent payments that were coming in, because it was some tenants were affordable housing tenants. So automating that process coming in, we basically were able to streamline the whole collection of rent just by doing a couple repairs and a couple value add, we call it forced appreciation, a couple of those things. We were able to, while not selling, just get an appraisal after we did all that. And the property today is worth over $12 million. You know, so all of this was done in less than a year. We created that upside, you know, so that is something that, you know, you need to find defects. And when you find those defects, that's when you can really create wealth.
Wow, that 107 units, and you basically more than doubled the value in a year by creating.
Absolutely. Just by improving, just by improving the number one, the rent that came in, and the number of tenants, the vacancy level. You know, that's really what did it.
Great. Buy back to Block LA. I hope you guys are taking notes. I got a notepad right here. And that is a gym. I don't know if you knew about that, but that's a gym that we all need to strive for. Owning 500 units is definitely something that I haven't aspired that high of a number yet, but it's coming. It's coming. So then, okay, so now you're 500 units, and now you say, okay, and with all my experience, the arc of your career, and you start a bank. Tell us about the well, one, are you the only person, or do you have a partner in the bank? And then tell us about how that whole transition happened.
Right. So the bank is, I'm a co-founder, and there's one other co-founder as well. And we basically started the bank with 6 principles in mind. We wanted, number one, it to be a source of wealth creation for our community. So we built the bank with pretty much the same trajectory that I traveled, right? We started with 6 levels. The first level is the level which we call the thousandaire level. And basically that level is coming to the bank, it's a digital bank. So we're able to operate in all 50 states. But coming to the bank, you get an account. We call them thousandaires because we have at our bank a system in which what's different about our bank is we're gonna give you lots of financial education. We're going to improve your financial literacy. So at the thousandaire level, what we do is simply put you in a situation or give you resources that we can guarantee that you'll make at least $100,000 a year just through education. Prime example of this is we are partnered with the program that we can guarantee someone $100,000 at least a year in salary by joining this program that will train you for 3 months. It's a coding program. They train you for 3 months, no college education required. All the training that's needed is provided in this program. Once you take that training for 3 months, they'll basically pay you $100,000 to code for them. So that is an example of just being a thousandaire, right? Having the ability to make at least $100,000.
Hold on, I didn't hear about this program. So you talking about we joined the bank? Is there a fee to join to get this program, or what? Or is it just
no? It's no fee. It's no fee. It's a program that, as a benefit of membership, this is an incentive. So it's not like you have to be in it. It's just available, right? Let's say you are looking to have a job and you just want to be a thousandaire, right? You want to make that $100,000 a year. Yeah. This is a program that exists. We basically, it's an application, you apply to it, and they will train you. They will give you everything you need. Once you finish this 3-month program, you graduate, you'll be earning $100,000 a year, right? This is an example. This is an example.
Wow.
Another thing that we do is we're going to have financial literacy. If you want to be an entrepreneur, we're going to show you how you can leverage your personal credit or your business credit to start a business. And we'll get to that at later levels. But on the very first level, it's really just financial literacy. We have a budgeting app that really shows you how to budget. Also, at that very first level, we have at the bank something that is unique. You won't find it at a lot of other banks. It's an account. It's called a generational account. What that generational account does is if you're a minor, we give minors a bank account and a debit card and a budgeting app, right? And show them how to use it. Prime example, and the reason why is because when I was 15, 16 years old, I grew up in affordable housing. I didn't understand how important credit was. I didn't understand how to budget. I didn't understand banking. So what we want to do is give our teenagers that head start. So when they turn 18, they're not going to go out and abuse their credit. They're not going to go out and not know how to use banking facilities to create entrepreneurship. So that's really the purpose of our generational accounts. We want to equip our teenagers with the ability to start businesses, understand banking, understand budgeting, and how do you use your credit to really, really accelerate and leverage everything you want to do in life.
Wow. Well, buy back to Block LA. I have a ton of questions for you. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat, and we're gonna get to your portion of this interview to ask questions. But okay, let's scale back a little bit. The computer coding program. How old do you have to be? I got a 15-year-old because I'm ready to stick him in right now.
Yeah, the computer program, you have to be at least 18. That's the prerequisite to that. You got to be at least 18 to go through that program. But that is something that I feel is game changer for those that want to go the technology path. And let me say one other thing about technology. I think that the wealth creation that's taking place in Silicon Valley right now is something that our community needs to take advantage of, right? I think that more people need to be pushed into coding. The reason why I'm saying this is because I am seeing billionaires, right? Billionaires with a B being created in as little as 3 and 4 years, right? Going that path, like they're having ideas, they go from the ideation stage all the way into product launch, and they're being bought out, and their companies are selling for billions and billions of dollars. We need to see a part of that, and that's really why I said, let me come up with a pipeline so that I can introduce this to my community and give more people access to that environment, and that's what I wanted to do.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So just a couple other things that you share some great jewels, and a couple other things that I didn't know of, but a couple of things I do know about Money Ave Bank is about the business funding. I really want to highlight that is something that I think our group could take advantage of. So Tell us about the business funding and how it started and what it is.
Okay, so we talked about level 1, right? Let me jump to level 2. Level 2 is what we call living the rent-free lifestyle. So I'm just going to gloss over that before I get to level 3, and we'll jump into the business funding. But level 2, living the rent-free lifestyle, if you're between the ages of like 20 and 35, we have special loan products that allow you to, because what we want to do is we want people's first purchase to be a multifamily house. The reason why that is they could generate income and get assets before they get the dream house or the house that is really going to drag them down. We want to incentivize people for that, right?
Exactly.
So we have special programs that allow young people to get into that, right? So that's that. Level 3 is where we really ask you to bring your personal credit score to 720. We separate it, and then we focus on building out your business credit. The reason why we want you to build out your business credit is because we want you to live exclusively through your business credit. We want you to use the money that you can get through your business credit to create and be an entrepreneur. So at Money Avenue, we give every LLC at least $50,000 of business credit that is not connected to their personal credit profile so that they can go out and be a creator, so that they can either invest or they can start a business. The idea is to prove the concept of that business, right? It's to use the 50,000 to prove the concept of a business. 90% of businesses fail. We want people to do it safely. Safely is the key. So that's why we want them to have completely separate business credit that is not connected to their personal credit, and do it the same way the masters of business credit have done it in the past. And we talk about the way Donald Trump has done it. I tell people Donald Trump has over 500 LLCs. The reason why he has over 500 LLCs is because he understands the power of having a completely separate legal entity and leveraging the business credit. Leveraging is the key, and that is one of the reasons why we do that, right? Now, level 4, after you've proven the concept, after you have 2-year tax returns, after you have shown that your LLC can make at least 50 to 60,000 in revenue, not profits, in revenue, what we do at level 4 is we ask you to go out and get $1 million in debt through your business, right? Separate from your personal debt, not commercial debt. No, we want you to buy income producing assets, real estate, or if you have a business, use that, etch that up to $1 million line of credit to scale your business. That's the way you do it. Level 5, the debt that you created in level 4, what we do is that turns into equity, and that's the level which we technically create thousandaires and turn them into millionaires, because at that level, your net worth, your assets should be at least $1 million more than your liabilities, right? And then at level 6, I saw someone mention life insurance. Level 6 is where we're all trying to get to. It's the level of generational wealth. The key at level 6 is we want you to have certain structures in place. Life insurance. We have life insurance at the bank. If you're between the ages of 20 and 35, right now we have a life insurance policy for $20 a month. We can get you up to $250,000 in life insurance for $20 a month. That's a steal, right? So we want people to have life insurance. Then we want you to specialize in how do you pass wealth on, the best ways to do it, right? So we have a specialist on staff that specializes in 1031 exchanges. So the wealth that you've created, if you want to take money out, put it into a trust. So we have attorneys that are affiliated with us that can help you to set up a blind trust, help you to set up a family trust, a dynasty trust, irrevocable trust, whatever suits your individual needs, they'll help you to do it. I'm going to show you how everyone on this call can create generational wealth the same way I did, right? So I set up a trust for my family. I have a 3-year-old son. My 3-year-old son, through a trust, owns a 6-unit apartment building in Newark, New Jersey, right? I purchased this 6-unit apartment building for $130,000 in Newark, right? Now, granted, I had to put some work in because it was a shell, right? But I put some work in. But what that apartment building is going to do for my 3-year-old son is when he's old enough to go to college or whatever, that building is going to pay for his school straight up, right? Straight up. So he's not going to have student loan debt. Then the other thing is it's also going to produce income for him, right? Nice. So that's the idea. Creating generational wealth could be done, many different ways, but you have to have a strategy. And that's one of the ways that I've used to create generational wealth for my son.
Wow. So let's get into some of the details of your bank. It's on the Inc. 5000 list, number 199 is the fastest growing companies in America on the Inc. 5000 list, and number 9, if I'm correct, as far as in the fintech space, correct?
Yeah, we're the 9th fastest growing fintech in the country. We have, even in the face of COVID, we grew over 40,000 customers, and that wasn't even the banking portion. The fact of the matter is, our banking portion launches in February. So I definitely want everyone to sign up at bankmoneyav.com. I'll put it in the chat as well. And also, while I go into the chat, there was a couple questions that I missed. So if you don't, I just want to make sure I'm comprehensive.
Yeah, Danny's going to bring him up. He's been monitoring the question. He's going to bring him up.
All right, cool.
Okay,
Cool.
so then you got that, the business funding. I wanted to talk about something else here too. And you're FDIC insured. So that's one of the messages I want to make sure that this bank, although it's not a brick and mortar bank, it's FDIC insured, just like, correct me if I'm wrong, just like every other bank up to $250,000, correct?
That's correct. Fully FDIC insured. In addition, there's some other features that are unique as well. So
talk about them, please.
Okay, so at the bank, we have personal accounts that we don't charge you any fees for it. So typically a bank, and I'm talking about the big five, right? We're talking about Chase, Citibank, TD Bank, Bank of America. Those big banks make between $1 billion and $1.5 billion every single month in fees, just fees. Like when you bounce a check, they charge you. When you just have just a maintenance fee, they charge you. We don't do any of that. In fact, we will spot you $100 if you do an overdraft, and we won't charge you any fees. So let's say you write a check and you're $100 over, we'll spot you that $100, and we don't charge any monthly fees. In addition to that, if you direct deposit with us, you get your check 2 days earlier than you would at a traditional bank. Somebody said, "Will you spot me 50K?"
Well, hey, we have to find out,
That's great.
But yeah, so that's one of the things. Like a personal account is somewhat unique, right? And then we have what you won't find in the market is we have a business side of that too, right? So you can get a business account. Now, what's special about our business accounts? The business accounts end up just being like our personal accounts. We have certain things that we could do for our business professionals, right? We talked already about the business credit, how we can get you the 50K, but we have other services that are coming online. We're gonna have a Money Ave business builder credit card. What does that mean? Basically, the same way that you build out let's say you had a secured card that you wanted to get a trade line on your personal account, we could do the same thing for your business. And it's a high value card. So we can get you $50,000 business builder card. That's another thing, trade line, right? It's a number of different things that we can help your business to look a lot bigger than it is. So let's say you're really making $100,000 a year in a business. The way that we can structure it, we can make that $100,000 look like you're doing a lot more than you are, because we're adding in different, streams for your business builder, and that is going to make your business be able to qualify for higher lines of credit.
Wow. Buy back to blog family and put your questions in. We're coming soon to the question section of this interview, but this has been great. You've dropped so many gems. So I know that we talked about this, about the business funding. And I think what our community is lacking is the fearlessness of let's say number 45. I don't like to use his damn name. The fearlessness of number 45 of having those multiple corporations. But you're saying with your bank, you have a department or a company, the whole bank has a department where they're going to hand walk your clients through this process, right? You have a department
Correct.
for that?
Absolutely. So a lot of people don't even realize business credit exists. A lot of people don't realize that you don't have to be a personal guarantor on any of your business credit. It's really how your business is structured. So we help you to get there. We have a customer service staff that helps you to walk you along the process to get you to different points. And then once you get there, and this is how the banks make money, right? This is how we make money. We make money because we build you up, bring you into a system, and then we lend you the money, right? We lend you the money. So it's the lending portion. So if you're in our system, we know you, we know how, we know what you're capable of, we'll lend you the money. We have a loan program right now where you can get anywhere from $500 all the way up to $10,000 in as fast as 3 hours, right? That's one of the things.
Payday lending?
Yes. So the
Talk about
target, we've been going after payday lenders. So that's one of our most popular products right now, is that we've been putting that product out. People can get that real quick. And the interest rates are like real low, like 2 and 3%. There's short-term loans, but instead of going to a payday lender, that's a place that you can go to, and then we're doing, residential and commercial mortgages as well. We talked a little bit about that, living the rent-free lifestyle and making sure that, we can own income-producing assets. So those are, some of the ways we've really been able to help a lot of people really going in, even through COVID. You'd think a lot of banks, some banks just said, we're not going to lend in COVID, So we got a lot of business just because some banks just closed their doors.
Right. And then I read about something else. You also offer bank accounts for those Americans or those people who just have I-10 Social Security numbers.
Yes. So, and that is big. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because what we're seeing is lots of immigrant groups coming into this country. And right now we know that there's over 7.1 million people that are unbanked, particularly in our community. So a lot of the reasons why is because many of them, either they've been in check systems and they've been kicked out, or they don't have proper identification. With us, we need you to have a TIN, and that's why we're immigrant friendly. You don't need a social security card. You can bank with us based on that relationship. And, you come with us, you have a TIN, we're super immigrant friendly. We're not asking you for a whole bunch of documentation, and that is basically how we want to make the people that are unbanked, bring them into the system, show them that there's a whole nother world with entrepreneurship, and then allow them to start businesses, be on the books, and hopefully become productive citizens.
Great, that's great. Now, I remember I had a question also on the business funding account. What is the fee for the business funding program, I should say? What's the fee of the business?
We charge $2,500 for that fee. Now, that's the lifetime fee, meaning that once you're in that program, you're in it for life. Mm-hmm. That also guarantees you at least $50K. So, we start with that, but every single year, the business credit program is something that we build on year in and year out. I'm in the same program. With that program, when I started with about $70K, but $50K is just saying we guarantee you at least 50, but most people get a lot more than 50. But every year, it's about increasing that number. Right now, I have over $3 million of business credit. A line, it's a business credit line that you can have check writing privileges against. So, it's about building it out. As your revenue increases, the credit limit increases, and it doesn't stop. You work on it every single year. And, as the bank, we're going to help you get to those points every single year.
So now let's get this straight. So I started that one LLC, my last name, Hughes LLC, and I could build it out. I can build multiple corporations for that within that program. For that
Absolutely. There's no limit on the number of LLCs you can have. And for every LLC that you have, you could, build out your business credit.
Right. So, okay. So then in this, I'm thinking in my head, in this whole system or this process, I'm learning the steps needed to happen to build out the business credit. So then
Absolutely.
I can educate my son, my daughter, my wife, or have them join with me in an LLC and build the whole thing out, right?
That's the obligation. And I saw I saw a question come across real quick about the PPP loans. Ladies and gentlemen, stimulus is just passed. I want everyone out there to get money. Yes, at Money Avenue, we do the PPP loan. So we can get that done for you quickly and efficiently. Let us go get the money that you deserve. Reach out to us for your PPP loans. We could do it quicker than if you go to Chase Bank. The last time people didn't believe that. You go to these big banks, we could do it quicker than them. We didn't. It was like a shock to us. But these big institutions, unless you're part of big business, right? Unless you have a $1 billion business, they're the ones that the big banks are really getting stuff done for. The small business owner, we can move a lot quicker than the big banks in that department. So reach out to us about the PPP loans.
Good deal, good deal. We're getting ready to bring Danny in and start the questions for you. But we talked about some of the things you may want to offer some of the people who are on this call. You were talking about the business funding and other things. I'll let you key up for that.
Yeah, so one of the things I love what you and Danny are doing, and I wanted to offer an incentive. I would give everyone on the call that wants to do the business credit program, we'll give you a $500 discount. All you have to do is mention Buy Back the Block LA. You can reach out to me directly, mention Buy Back the Block LA. We'll give you a discount, $500 off that business credit program to get you the 50K. In addition to that, what we'll also do is set you up with a free Money Ave bank account, and we can get you moving on that as well.
Good job. Guys, right there, we just saved you some money on the business app. You trading $2,000 for $50,000. So they're gonna walk you through that whole process. Of course, you're gonna have to get your credit together. So this is unbelievable.
No, you don't have to get your credit together. That's
okay. You don't tell them. Okay, so I thought you said you have to lock to get your credit together at 720. And
yeah, we want you to lock your credit at 720 because your credit is your credibility. So when you get into buying these big properties, people that you do business with is going to look at your personal credit, but the business credit is completely separate from your personal. Okay. We won't pull your personal credit. We won't ask you to be a personal guarantor on it. It'll be completely on the strength of the business, of the LLC or whatever legal entity you choose, But going back to it, we want everyone to have great personal credit. It's important to have good personal credit. So this is just good practice, right? Everyone's credit score should be at least 720 because your credit is your credibility, and you want to have credibility in business. So we just want you to have great credit, lock it, be like Donald Trump. Don't use your personal credit. Do everything through an LLC. That's it. What you should use your personal credit for is the house you live in, maybe some family car, maybe a family car, maybe things that you have protecting your family, keep those personal, but everything else, utilize the strength of an LLC, the power of the LLC.
Good job, good job. So Danny, let's go ahead and start some questions. If you can read some of the questions in, because I know I have a bunch of questions. I could talk to this guy all night. So let's talk
I got a couple myself, so I ain't gonna cut the line though. Even
man, come on, man, start off, Danny.
Man. No, well, first off, man, thank you both because this was a great interview, man. And Donahue, thank you for the information. Larry, thank you for the good questions. And the first question that I see here, we're gonna roll it back to the top of your story. Robbie wanted to ask, if you own one duplex, how do you move to the next phase?
Right. So Robbie, the best way to do it is use, if you own one, hopefully you live in one. It'll be kind of like house hacking. That's the easiest way to do it. The reason why it's easy is because you can leverage the FHA loan. You can get in for 3.5% down. You should at least have one. Everyone should have one FHA loan under the belt, right? Because it's just a super leveraged, easy to qualify for a product, Robbie. So I would just say, you get in that, and then from that point on, you can either use the business credit to do the second one. You can get the down payment up, your business credit to get the second one, and then do everything from that point on exclusively through a LLC. It'll go further that way if you use that strategy. But once again, income is key. So focus on creating more income this year than you did last. So if you could just buy one property and just keep that going, trust me, you'll start to snowball in no time, and it'll buy back so much of your time.
Okay, good deal, good deal. So Ade, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. asks, can you talk more about the business loan options that Money Ave has?
Sure. So business loans, if you're a business, if you're a regular business looking for a business loan, we do have that product. However, if you're able to go in our business credit program, we can give you our business credit builder credit card. We also have the ability to, once you have the 2 years tax returns, as well as the revenue requirements, very important, right? You can't just come in off the street with a brand new LLC thinking you're going to get $1 million line of credit. Doesn't work. You have to have those criteria, and we're going to help you get there. But when you have that, you're able to leverage that for these high value lines of credit. $500,000, $1 million.
Dope. Okay.
Well, hold on one second, Danny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but let's talk real quick about that revenue requirement and how you can use multiple LLCs to feed the other to create that revenue requirement.
Yeah, so that is something that I work one-on-one with every individual business to get, once they get to 50,000, once they have a proven concept business, because once the things that I show you on that level, everybody can't do it because they'll abuse it, and I don't want to. I don't want the lines of legality to be crossed here, right? Mm-hmm. So, but in essence, this is how it works. What we try to do is when you get that first LLC, you've proven the concept. What we try to do is create an ecosystem of LLCs for you, right? So once you do that, the proper structure that I try to tell people to have is you want to have an LLC that is public facing, the LLC that interacts with the public. That LLC needs to be somewhat protected, but that's the LLC that is going to be getting all the loans. That's the LLC that's really the public is going to see, right? So the other LLCs and the ecosystem that you create can do business with that LLC, right? You can own all the LLCs, but when you do business with that LLC, you're creating commerce. You're creating more revenue. That's how you get higher and higher and higher streams of revenue, right? You're creating an ecosystem. Those LLCs that you own do business with each other, and then that allows you to qualify for higher lines of credit. But understand, it's a process and has to be built out. And it's great when you have a CPA, somebody or an attorney that is experienced at putting that together to make sure that you're doing it in the right fashion.
Exactly.
Incredible. Okay. Jasmine wants to know, how do you find the Thousandaire course that takes 3 months?
You have to join the bank. We have a partnership, and we've agreed to basically offer that option when we launch in February with another entity. It's another company that does the training. So you can sign up at Bank Money Ave. Once you sign up, you'll be notified. Everyone, all of our customers will be notified that that option will become available, and you can register for it at that particular point in time. The first classes will be starting sometime around March. So if you do it now, you'll have plenty of time to sign up for it.
Okay, cool. Linda said, I have a 20-year-old who is in his second year at Cal State Northridge in computer science. Would you recommend this to him?
100%, right? But if he's, first of all, it's a great school. So kudos to you for what you poured into him. But I would basically find out, give people options, right? People that have options, always you can pick out the best decision from there. And that's really what the key is. We want this to be another option. So if he's presented with it and it works for him, it could be a viable option. It may not. Sometimes being in college is better. Sometimes, you just have to, your kid better than I do. So I think that the more options we can give our children, the better they'll become. And I think that's the way to go.
Okay, cool. William, can you go ahead and unmute? Because he had a question that had a couple layers to it. So,
sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Sure.
So my question relates to an S Corp versus an LLC,
Okay.
as it relates to having a partnership. And we're looking to have a holding company to reduce our tax liability specifically the self-employment tax, while still protecting our personal assets and having that clarity in the ownership stakes.
Okay, so what's the question in there?
So the question is, well, which do you think is better? Because in doing some of the research in terms of protecting liability, very similar. But it seems that the advantage for the S Corp is that you still have that pass through tax benefit, but you can reduce your self-employment tax because you can pay dividends through the shares.
Yeah. So do you have employees or is it a single member?
So it would be just a partnership. So 2 employees, and then we would pay ourselves a salary, and then but it would be minimal, so that way we can reduce that self-employment tax, and then the majority of it would come through dividends.
Yeah, I do like that structure. I would need to do a deeper dive into your business because number one, the way that you have I would like to make sure that the holding company is set up the right way, but I like the strategy of using the holding company as kind of like in the first position, and then the S Corp be a subsidiary of that, and then basically allowing yourself to take advantage of the payroll tax. And also an additional thing is with the Trump tax law, you're also getting a 20% reduction in your taxable liability running business through your S Corp. So I like that setup. I think you have the right idea there. But I also want to know a little bit more about the business and some of the business plans, because that's really what you need to be thinking of is it's tax strategy, right? You want to always have a strategy that positions you to get some windfall in the future. So let's just say you were going for, let's just say it was a real estate business, right? And you were looking to do a $1 million loan next year, right? I would tell you to try to position yourself to whatever that public facing company is to maybe pay some taxes, just to show higher revenue so that you can qualify for that $1 million loan that you need. It's strategy. It's literally just strategy. The same thing can change from year to year. So it's having planning, having some forward thinking, and then that is going to determine what's the optimal structure for you. So it's a little bit more in depth than what we can kind of talk about in a couple minutes. But I think you're on the path, and that structure that you set up. I definitely use the S Corp structure, use the LLC holding company, and then switch it around depending on when you have your holding company and the subsidiaries below it, you have tremendous flexibility. So I think whoever your CPA is, I think you have the ideal structure to take advantage of a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You muted, Danny.
Okay, my bad. Kasaya, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She said, I'm a young professional seeking a certification in financial planning. How can I convince my peers who don't care for their future generation?
So you've got to find your voice, because what's needed in our community is financial literacy. If we could, and we all can use to improve our financial literacy. When you have better financial literacy, you're able to make better financial decisions, and you're also able to keep more money in your pocket. People respond to that, right? So it's you may need to hone your message. I just think that what's worked for me is going back to where I'm from, using the vernacular that I use, and I'm able to connect with my people, telling them the stories, right? Putting together what I found out about Donald Trump, right? Like for me personally, Donald Trump is a polarizing figure, love him or hate him, but people are interested. People want to know how he built his wealth, finding out the tricks of the trade, finding out how others are building wealth, finding out how people in every community are leveraging knowledge that most people don't know to get millions and millions of dollars. And that's basically what I do. And for instance, what really led me to Donald Trump is that when I was doing some research, I'm from New Jersey, he was from there. Did you know that there's no bank in the United States of America that will lend Donald Trump money? Do you know that? And the reason why is because he's always put himself in a position to where he wins with the bank. Listen to this statement, right? Listen to this statement. And this is why why financial literacy is so important. But this is a Trumpism, right? If I owe the bank $3 million, it's my problem. But if I owe the bank $300 million, it's their problem. If that doesn't make sense to you, you're not articulating the message, right? The whole concept of our country, it's built on debt. You have to be able to understand using debt, you can leverage. It's about using it safely. You can leverage up to the point. You can do it safely with protection, you know? So that's what I tell people. It's not a unethical thing. This is the way business is done in this country. The Fortune 500, there's 500 companies, right? 500 Fortune 5, these are the 500 biggest companies in the country. Only 2 of them are debt-free. That should tell you something, right? So when you're building your business, when you're acquiring real estate, when you're buying back the block, gotta figure out how to leverage, how to utilize what you have to get more. And it's a game. It's literally like Monopoly. It's all paperwork. It's how you structure everything. It's how Danny can have an LLC and Larry can have an LLC, and they could do business amongst themselves and create wealth. You know, that's how you do it. You just structure it right? Danny got another business, he got another business. Danny the way that you got group economics, like if you could get 10 people together that have the same mindset and there's trust involved, you can leverage millions of dollars just in that circle. Each one of you guys could get $1 million, $2 million in less than 12 months by just planning, thinking, trusting, having a game plan, using tax strategy, setting up the right LLCs, using the right banking system, and leveraging it. It's very simple. It's financial literacy.
Wow, and I would add to that question is you can show them better than you can tell them. Because sometimes your peers are not going to come along with you, right? I've told them tons of people about this group. Are tons of people here? No. So show them better than you can tell them. Bring who you can bring, but you can't save everybody.
But the fact is that you in a group right now. Look how many people is on this call right now. Like there's like-minded people around you all the time. Connect with who's connecting, who wants to hear your message. I'm sure you have social media. You got people that follow you. If you're a financial professional, I'm sure people follow you and they want to hear what you got to say. You know, that's how I started.
Good job.
Beautiful, beautiful. We got a question here from Illa Doss, and I really like this because this question highlights, both ends of the spectrum in our group, because we got people like Larry who are mortgage brokers and professionals who have flipped houses and developers, and then now we got a bank CEO who stopped by, and then we have somebody who has a question just at the starting line, which is why LLC and not sole proprietorship?
Yeah, so the LLC provides you separate legal status, right? And with separate legal status, you're able to separate yourself from your business. So why would someone do LLC versus a sole proprietorship? We live in a society that is very litigious. People like to sue, right? So if you own something and you're a sole proprietor, everything that you've done and are affiliated with is at risk. When you have a separate legal entity, it goes under the purview of that separate legal entity. Just like Cassia said, you have additional liability protection. And that is one aspect that most people realize. But the other aspect that most people don't realize is that when you have a separate legal entity, you're literally duplicating yourself. And if you duplicate yourself, there's a whole other side that you could tap into and build on, right? And that's the foundation of companies and corporations, and them being able to exist and get credit and get tremendous amounts of loans and tremendous amount of tax benefits. It is a way to save money. It is a way to create wealth.
Beautiful. Couple quick ones real quick. I think Kaseya, she said, do you use a DUNS number?
Yeah, DUNS number for every LLC or every separate legal entity. DUNS number is for people that don't know, that is short for Dun and Bradstreet System of Business Credit Rating. Very important number that you should pay attention to, right? So that is equivalent to your personal credit score before your business. So you definitely should use it, utilize it, keep it fresh, but at the same token, use it as a tool.
Dope. Ade wants to know which credit agency you guys report business credit to.
We report to Dun and Bradstreet as well as Experian Credit, but there's others, but those are the big two.
All right. Let me see. See, can you use FHA to purchase a property after buying a potential flip for cash? I'm not sure exactly what he means by that.
You can use the FHA to purchase a property if you're going to live in there. That's the thing. The FHA program is for owner-occupied individuals. So, you can do that. Even you can do it multiple times. You just can't have more than one LLC at one time. Typically, I've heard a couple exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, as long as you're going to be an owner occupant, you can use the FHA program, and I recommend that you do.
Yeah, Donahue, just to clarify the question, trying to purchase an investment property or potential flip property for cash in Virginia, but also want to still take advantage of my FHA opportunity here in California to purchase my personal property. So that's what I wanted to clarify.
Okay, all right. So the FHA, FHA portion would be for the property that you're going to live in.
Correct.
And you cannot do the investment property under the FHA, right? Unless you're creative. And maybe Larry has some ways to do that. I don't want to.
That's what I know. I know it's a couple of loopholes. I know it is.
Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble because technically, if you buy an investment property under the FHA, you're committing mortgage fraud. But the way that I've seen people do it is they've listed a property in another state as a second home. It's one of those gray areas that I do not want to steer you wrong. I would tell you to consult with, make sure that you stay on the right side of the law.
I think he's good though. I think he's good because he's buying the property. Jamar, you buying the flip out of state and cash, probably in the name of your LLC. I'm guessing, right?
That's the avenue that we're going for, Danny, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, you all good. Yeah, you all good when you get back here.
So purchase it under the LLC, and then I'm still good on my FHA side for my personal property here in California.
Yeah, because you're not running another one through any kind of mortgage or anything like that. It's straight cash, so you can like Donahue was saying, as long as you're an owner occupant, you good.
All right. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Jasmine wanted to know if my fiance and I do the buyback the block deal with the $500 off, can we both open a personal account with the bank?
Absolutely. You could. You can do a joint account as well as individuals. So you have that's a significant feature because a lot of the typical banks don't offer that joint account feature. We do. So absolutely you can.
Can I give that last question a piece of advice? I know you said you and your fiance, and I get this question a lot in the mortgage business. If I were you, I would make sure that you guys, while you're not married, take advantage of buying a separate FHA property, another FHA property if you're doing units, right? Because Donahue just spoke about being your first purchase, buying some units. So while you're not married, take advantage of buying separate properties in the FHA program with 3.5% down. And then you get married, and now you come into the marriage with multiple units, and you can buy your properties together. But because once you're married, you can't go out and buy two separate FHA properties. So that is an important distinction that you have to make. So while you are engaged, go ahead and use what I call the divide and conquer method. go out and conquer, then come together.
Okay.
Somebody said you're gonna need a prenuptial with that too.
Larry, I just wanted to ask you, you said that we should buy two separate FHA loans, but wouldn't
Yes.
we have to live in those homes?
Yes,
Separate?
you have to, technically you'd have to live in those homes, right? You have to live in the home. So it's FHA is a 1-year residency requirement. If you and your fiance qualify separately for separate units, then you can do it. Now, I know if you plan on purchasing here in California, it's a little expensive. So if that's not the case, then you feel safe, you can go ahead and join and buy your FHA units. But if you can qualify, I would look into qualifying and living and having those units separately. And it's a 1-year residency requirement. You know, we can talk offline about the residency requirement because this call is recorded. So, but I didn't conquer method. And if you guys can afford to do so, you can go into the marriage with, at the most, you can buy 1 to 4 units. You can go into the marriage with 8 units and then buy, your other home. So.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep. Linda said, if I just started a sole prop, should I now create an LLC? Linda, I don't know your situation, but I'm gonna go ahead and lean towards yes, because the sole props ain't gonna do nothing but get you in trouble for the most part, and you got no protection. So.
Okay, yeah. So I just started that LLC in April of last year, 2020, Danny, and built credit under it. Of course, my personal scores is 790 plus. So I'm thinking, since I've just only been, it won't be a year until this April, should I just dump it and just start with an LLC and go after the LLC credit?
If you started a sole prop, you didn't start a company. You started a DBA. So you started an alias. So it's still you. When it's time for you to pay taxes and everything, that name might as well not even, might as well, or get sued. That name doesn't even exist. It's straight Linda Sam.
Well, it's actually Mary Tribe.
Okay, but it's still you get what I'm saying? It's still a DBA. It's a nickname basically.
Okay.
So that nickname offers you no protection. You got to get an LLC to be able to get protected.
So I can start an LLC in my Mary Tribe business?
Probably. I mean, yeah, I'm sure. Like I haven't done a name search and everything to tell, but yeah, you should be able to. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. And I know you asked if we have any LLC startup gurus in the group. We don't yet. So if anybody on the call knows somebody who's legitimate that we can vet to be able to direct our folks to when they need to set up their LLCs, please let us know because we need to get that asset in the group.
I have somebody who actually sets up my LLCs and I can shoot the info.
Biggs, man. I should know Biggs gonna know somebody. That's what I'm talking about.
Drop it in the chat to me.
Drop it in the chat. That's what we talk about, group economics. There you go.
Teamwork, that's right. Okay. Jasmine said, is there any way to set up a payment plan to sign up for the business credit account for the 2000?
Fortunately, we don't offer a payment plan. It is it's a one-time fee because we pretty much literally we call you every single week. It is, we work with you. We have customer service that works with you to bring you to where you need to go. And that's why we've been so successful at it. So unfortunately, it's a one-time fee. And that's basically how we roll it out.
If somebody can vouch for Jasmine, I got her.
Okay.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay, wait, what was that? What? Sorry, I'm here. Hello? Who's that? Linda, was that you?
Yes. I said, if you need $2,000, hit me up. I'll front it till you get your 50 G's.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
Y'all doing dope deals on our Zoom call. We out of here,
God,
man.
do it. Oh, God, do it.
Linda the plug, man.
Hey, Linda, I'm trying to buy a house out here in Atlanta. All I need is that 50K. That's it.
Hey, nah, that's the runoff on the plug dude right there. I can tell already. We'll tell. All right, man. Let me see. Yeah, we got a couple more. One of them was actually kind of deep. I don't know if we're gonna be able to. Where to go?
Anybody really want to know? I could take $1,000 in crypto and Ethereum and turn it into 1,000 in 3 months.
Oh,
we need to have you as a guest.
There was something about Prop 19 that somebody asked, but I've lost it. Yes, there will be a recording. We will drop the recording tomorrow. We'll put all of the information that Donahue has given us for the Money Ave website, where to sign up, how much the fees are, and the promo code to be able to get 500 off. We got to support our brother, man. He's doing something. He's giving away information that he could easily charge for. So, and y'all know we getting beat upside the head by these, big 4, big 5 banks anyway, man. So, please support our brother, man. We got to do that.
While Danny looking for questions, Donahue, tell the group where we can find you on social media.
Yeah, so you can find me at A Donahue Baker on all platforms. So A Donahue Baker on Instagram. I actually have a YouTube channel as well that I'll be doing interviews with people. Definitely want to come out to LA and tap in with the brothers as well. When things get better in COVID,
Right.
we'll be out there. So so that's it. Fran, I see your hand raised.
I had another question, Danny. If we move money from Chase to you, Donahue, is that part of some program? Just moving money from?
Yeah, if we can get your business over Chase, we would be honored. We would, the whole idea is this: what if we could get more people to bank with us? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. What we're able to do is we're able to lend to more Black and minority real estate developers and more Black and minority entrepreneurs, right? So on our board, which we didn't tap into today, is we have a billionaire. His name is R. Donahue Peoples. He's on our board. He's one of the premier Black real estate developers in the country. He's also pledged millions of dollars to fund. When I say fund, we're gonna create more Black real estate developers. If we grow our bank, we get more access to those funds that we can turn around and invest in our community. So that's really, that's really what we're hoping to do by opening this bank account. If we could get 1 million people to bank with us, we become the largest Black-owned bank in the country.
Let me
1
drop
million
a
people is
jewel.
not a lot of people.
I got a powerful network, brother. I got it.
Hey guys, let me drop a little small jewel. He just mentioned R. Donahue Peoples. I heard about this developer about a few months ago, right? The biggest billionaire Black investor. If you go right now and search for his book on Amazon, it's only by 3 or 4 on Amazon. They're over $300. A simple book. And this book, I'm assuming, I couldn't find it, but I'm assuming this book is a wealth of information about development. And so that him being on the board of Money Ave Bank is huge. And I didn't even know that you just said it.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. So
can you drop your handles in the chat too, man?
Absolutely.
I got a quick question. We got about 3 minutes. I want to slide mine in real quick.
Go ahead.
Did we have a hand raise?
Fran did, but I think she got scared and ran away.
Fran ran off on us. All right, real quick. I see Tonda got a hand up too. I just wanted to ask you, because I'm banking with One United right now, trying to keep the money in the family.
That's good.
One thing that I wish that they had were better tools for me to be able to make automatic payments monthly to people who I need to make payments to. Easier wire transfers, because sometimes I'm in there for a minute trying to get a wire transfer done. So I just, on the business, you guys offer business banking accounts, and if so, do you have those kind of services to help make those transfers? Like if I got to send a wire to a title company, can I do
Absolutely.
it quickly?
Absolutely. So a couple things that we have that they don't. We will have those wires. We will have the peer-to-peer lending. We also will have the ability to get no fee wires, right? We also have the ability to spot you, and if you go over up to $100, if you go over, we have, like, they're not doing that. We are. So it's great that there's 20 Black banks in this country. We lost 2 going from COVID. They're the biggest now because of the merger. So it's we want to support our community. So I definitely want to tell you it's great that you're banking with them. I believe that we have the best product in the market. I really
Well,
do.
maybe you can look at the buyback the block count that we have. I don't know where, I forget where it is.
Oh man, we with them other folks, man.
Yeah, so
With them other
no,
folks.
this is an opportunity. So I just thought, I didn't even think about it just now. Right, Tonda's hand is raised.
Yeah, I think that's the last question we got.
So do we need to wait till February to open this account, or we can do this tomorrow or right now online?
Right. So what we have is a beta version right now. We, by law, we have to test it for 30 days.
Can I be
So
in your beta?
absolutely. Sign up for the Bank Money app and you'll get the notification. You'll get the beta. We have, it's not just a bank account, it's a budgeting app as well, right? So, and it's a whole bunch of
Whatever it
financial
is, I
literacy.
want it.
Okay, so
You
I'm
got
like,
some money coming, bro.
I love her. I love it. So yeah, so let's sign up and bring me back. How about that? Bring me back when we get the fee, because the whole thing is we're hands-on interactive. So Danny may say, well, look, I like this feature. I want to do, I want you to change this feature to do this. That's what the relationship is all about. When you can call up the CEO of a bank and get something done.
Good job. Go ahead,
I'd like to ask, I'm a veteran of mature age, and I have the duplex, I have the good credit score, I have down payment. Where do I go from here? I can join your thing. I have, everything is set for me to move on, but I don't really care to be rich. I just want to live out the rest of my times. I just retired. I'm waiting to put the money somewhere. What do I do from here?
Okay, so my advice to you is, do you have enough income, or are you still looking for income?
I have enough income.
So if you have enough income, what you want to do is you want to put your money into a place where you want to preserve wealth, right? So that's when you want to have diversification. That's when you may think about putting it in stocks that are safe and pays you dividends. If it may be an opportunity for you to even get into real estate in terms of getting an income producing asset that pays you a little bit extra. You can pass that on to your children or your heirs. I don't know your personal situation, but you're a veteran. You have an opportunity to leverage and purchase real estate 0% down. Right?
I already have. I have the duplex already, and I'm preparing to move from it so I can rent out the other side. I've been living in one side for like 16 years, but it's making no sense to continue to stay here because the profits that I could get if I move. So I don't know. Do I take my breakfast home?
Yeah, at the point where you're at, it's sometimes you need to take stuff off the table. Maybe you want to liquidate that and go into some other vehicle that's more appropriate for where you are at this stage in your life, right? So the stock market is one option for you, or speak to a financial planner, really, that can kind of put you in a position that gives you some stability and enjoy the rest of your life. That's really it. The whole idea is, for me personally, I try to tell people, put yourself in a position where you can pass generational wealth on, and then that way, you're going to have the best of both worlds. You want to basically use the knowledge, because you've done pretty well for yourself. You've taken advantage of the opportunity. You want to be able to pass that on to your children or maybe your grandchildren. I don't know what your personal situation is, but that's really it. That's really it.
All right, let's get Tonda's question asked.
One more question, Donahue. You need to put buyback to block as an affiliate. I already went over there. I just put it in other.
Okay. I will. We're gonna talk to Larry about that. And Danny.
What happened to Tommy?
We'll get that
Tommy,
going.
You there? Can you unmute?
I'm here.
Okay.
I didn't have a question, so I was trying to wait for everybody. I'm late to the party. I miss y'all, but I just wanted to edify Donahue right quick, because last year, I don't even remember how I got in touch with you, but I DM'd him. We got on the phone for like 45 minutes to an hour about real estate stuff that I was trying to go through. And he genuinely was just trying to help me, give me some advice. And I truly appreciate it. Like, this guy is really genuine. I missed whatever y'all said. I'll catch the replay, but I really just wanted to just say thank you and give him his props, because he really is somebody who is for the community, who genuinely wants to help, and is just a phenomenal person.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's great.
I didn't pay
That's
her to
great.
say that, by the way. I swear.
No, we know Tanda.
Yeah, we know Tanda. You can't pay Tanda to do nothing like that. They have it.
So we want to respect Donahue's time. I don't know, you guys don't know, but Donahue's on the East Coast, so he's in New Jersey, so it's 11:30 his time. So if we have any more questions, we're going to wrap it up shortly because we don't want to have him all night long. It's only 8:30 our time.
I got one more, Donahue, that I think that it's important. Somebody asked if you have any financial planners, like for my brother that just talked. Do you have anybody in your network at the bank so that way we can come to you, somebody who looks like us, instead of having to go to the outside?
I feel you. That's a great question. Right now, we're a lean startup, right? So we have an attorney that handles our 1031 exchanges. We have an attorney that does our trust, but we don't have any financial planners on the bank right now. In the future, maybe, but we don't do stocks. I personally, if you're in our program and I don't give out CPA advice, but you get that for free as we interact, and that's basically where we are now. As we grow, like right now, we're literally we're technology fintech. We're fintech. So as we grow, we'll have more in financial. Let's see a financial planner out there. Maybe Tanya can jump on board, reach out to us. We're in the process of right now. I'm going to tell you the trajectory. By June, July of this year, we're looking to do our very first raise. Everything in this bank, basically, was self-funded. Our co-founders have self-funded. We're doing our first raise. We're probably going to raise somewhere between $5 to $10 million. This company in and of itself, I believe, is going to be $1 billion company, and it's going to be people like you guys on the call that's going to help us get there. So right now, we're still in this crawl, walk, run approach. We're still crawling, and then eventually, as we grow out, we'll be able to offer more and more services, and enjoy the ride. And you guys are going to be the foundation. So,
okay, yeah, and I saw that Tanya shot you a message. We don't put stamps on everybody, but she's definitely one that we can vouch for. She presented a couple months back, and she's a member. She's a founding member of our first investment club. Came right up, supported, always been there for us. So yeah, you guys definitely should hook up if you get some time.
If you guys co-sign it, I'm on board too.
Yes.
So if you could make the connection, maybe we can, because I feel like this is going to be $1 billion company. People that we started with it are going to be multimillionaires in it. So if she can add, her financial advisory services, it's an opportunity.
Okay, beautiful. So I think that's all we got. Man, I just want to just say my piece before you and Larry, and just thank you guys again so much for the information, man. We all out here trying to save the community, one meeting, one Zoom call at a time. You know what I'm saying? So it's so good, man, honestly, to see like a young brother that's doing it. I mean, you giving me inspiration, man. I listen, man. I went and moved all my stuff to One United because I wanted to be with my folks, and I've seen how things can be improved upon. And I think that you're going to probably be the evolution of that, being a fintech bank. So, man, if this is the path you on, you got our support. I can't wait to put some money in the bank with you, man. And thank you again for coming, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. We're going to get there through feedback.
Yeah, we're going to.
Danny, you got patience of Job.
So I'm committing right now to open four accounts, right? I got myself, my wife, I got a 15-year-old, I have a 19-year-old. So me, myself, I'm committing to opening 4 accounts. And I just really, again, want to thank you, Donahue. I reached out to this brother because I knew that he will pour a lot of energy into this group. And he at no point acted any kind of way, finding anything. He was ready to help, just like Tanja said, without any question. And, we want to support you. We want to grow. We want to grow with you. So I really, really appreciate you. Any last words that you want to leave with us as we close out?
I just want you guys, I'm really honest. I'm trying to come back out there and do a Money Ave Mondays. We do a show on YouTube. It's called Money Ave Mondays. I need you guys to just, when the coast is clear, let me know so we come out there, get you on that show, and we can talk about what is going on with 5 After Block. I want to highlight that. I want to let people from all over the world know about what we're doing. I definitely want to just piggyback, off Danny, what he picked up with Nip, with that whole movement. I think that's an incredible story. I just want to commend you guys for that. And also just, a lot of love on the call. I just love what you guys are doing. And anything that I can do to help, please reach out. You can hit me on all the social media platforms. And I'm just 100% trying to support and help this community take it to the next level. And hopefully we do it together.
With that, everybody, I want everybody in the chat or unmute yourself and give Donahue Baker a round of applause. Thank you. And we really, really appreciate your time, my brother.
Yes, sir.
you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you. This was
sir.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr. Baker.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's love, man.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
y'all for coming, man. We'll see
Look at
y'all
that check,
in February.
Donahue.
you.
Okay. Okay now. Okay.
All right,
right,
Lenny, we're
thanks,
gonna get you
guys.
straight, man. Thank everybody. Look out for that replay
Give me a
tomorrow.
call tomorrow, Larry.
Will do.
Hey, Danny, if I needed to reach out, you got an email you can drop real quick?
I'm gonna drop all my stuff right here in the chat. Shoot me a DM, and y'all get at me, man. I'll definitely pull up on the phone, and we can talk about whatever you want to.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.
That's my handle in the chat. That's me on all social media platforms. So follow me, hit me if you got questions. We're here for you, and we appreciate our brother Donahue.
Well.
Out, man. We see y'all in February.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.